The human body oftentimes is proportionate. Therefore, most athletes use their own feet as measurement. The method of this is start with your heel on the back of the starting line. Take 2 steps and place the start of the first starting block. Next, start from the back of the first starting block and take another step. This is your position in the starting block. The front block should be set at an angle of 45 degrees. The front block should be set at an angle of 45 to 60 degrees, or so the athlete is comfortable in the blocks. In this particular situation, this athlete is very comfortable in 40 degrees for the front blocks, as you can see. The set position should enable an athlete to be in a comfortable position with their weight evenly distributed over their limbs. The athlete should have only the tip of their finger touching the ground and the rest of the foot pressing firmly to the back of the blocks. Hands should be shoulder width apart with index finger and thumb spread so they form a bridge. The head should be relaxed. Now we can see, according to the angle, the 90 degrees. This is according to the track and field book that I just referenced, the 90-degree angle. So our model should have more of his weight lean back. Now we can see a rough estimation of the model's back leg, and according to the angles that I've drawn on the screen, we can see that the model's back leg is roughly at about 110 degrees, which is what is recommended in most texts. The main technical skills in the leg action are as followed. After coming off the rear starting block, as we can see now, the push-off leg starts to drive forward, which would be the leg furthest away from us in this next clip. Another important aspect to look at is now the lead leg that is forward in this position. It is important for their shin to be in the same position relative to the ground. As you can see on the screen here, I've drawn 2 red lines. The top red line is the position that the model's shin should be in, and the bottom red line is the position of the ground. Both of those should be parallel at this position of the go. I would also like to point out that most texts recommend a degree between their trunk and their front thigh to be at about 90 degrees. In our model here, we can see his angle is at about 116 degrees. The arms have an important function in helping to produce the starting acceleration. Therefore, special attention must be paid to the correct action of the arms. The movement of the swinging of the arms require that the respective arms swing forward and upward, as we can see here. The arm tends to bend increasingly at the elbow until it reaches an angle of 90 degrees in the final phase of the motion. If you look on the screen, our athlete's front arm is at a position of 90 degrees. Also, please make note that his hand is coming upwards towards his forehead, and his hand is actually higher than his head. Also, pay attention to the athlete's back arm in the position that it is. It is very tough to gain an appreciation of the arm action from watching still photos. In this clip of our model, it is the same start as what we are previously looking at. However, now we are looking at him head on. As he starts running out, now you can have an appreciation of how his arms swing upward and towards his forehead. I would also like to point out the position of the athlete's back arms. This is very important that the back arm swings as far through that range of motion as possible. This will increase the stretch reflex and actually help to propel this back arm forward from this position. As you can see right now, I have it on a split screen. Our original athlete to the left, and now a new athlete to the right. And now you can take a close look at both athletes' arm position. The first one you can see is at about 90 degrees from his back to his elbow. Now if we look at the other athlete's arm position, you can barely see his elbow in relation to their body and their hand out behind him. As we can see with this athlete, it is going to be very tough for him to produce a lot of power into his next stride.
I'm listening for the starter, and then we go next. First thing, move the arms, and the legs follow. Let it follow.